That's recording.
Is she recording?
You look so good.
Get my angle. Yeah, David, honestly, honest.
I gotta get my gloves on.
You know what's so funny? This is an organization episode and we didn't organize.
No, we didn't. We didn't organize. I can't keep this in, but a man offered to take me out last night, and I said, okay, yes, but when we get back to my place, I have to work on a podcast outline. I did not.
Oops. Happy new to the year.
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a 2025?
2025.
How can I get an amen?
Yeah, so we're just here, two women. Yeah,
Two little baby ladies.
You love that, don't you? Are you a baby lady like us?
Yes. Do you have what it takes to be a baby lady?
Because we're here to teach you how to be a silly little baby lady.
You gotta be silly.
You gotta be silly.
You gotta be little.
To be a big lady.
I love being a baby lady.
I feel like we're just a couple of witches here just cackling over. Yeah. Okay, silly little baby lady. That was a comment that I received on a video. Hello, babies, and welcome back to the premiere episode of season 3 of D-Talk. Here on YouTube and Spotify, your safe space to explore your creativity, expand your critical thinking skills, embrace your cringe, and prime yourself for connection. I'm your host, David Day, and today we are talking about how to get yourself organized. And I'm here with one of my best Judy's, Michelle.
Hello.
Michelle, something's different about you.
Something, I don't know. It could be. It could be the food I ate this morning. Could be the sleep I had last night. But you tell me, David. What's a little different?
God, you look so good.
Dude, don't tap.
Just a little something subtle.
Call me little Miss Judy now.
If you're listening on Spotify, we're out here in full drag, so you better find that YouTube episode because this is really something.
Yeah.
In today's inaugural episode, we're going to talk about how to get organized. How do you do it?
How do you do it?
I feel like it's a great topic to discuss in the beginning of the year because I have like, you know, when you work a retail job and you like close the store and then you open the store and there's like procedures for what you do to close and open. I have those that I do at the end of every year for myself.
Okay.
Of like, here's how we wrap it up. Here's how we open it and start it. A lot of it has to do with organization.
That's kind of cool. No, I didn't know that.
So we got lots to talk about today.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so many different ways that we could start this conversation. Is there anything that you do that's like over a long span of time that is like cumulative organization? Like do we have systems and structures in place in order to maintain
and structures? Yeah. I feel like so it definitely has evolved over the years. I think it's been a lifelong journey of what works for me, what doesn't. Sometimes it works and then it stops working and I have to just find a new system. But I know like way back when I was a lot harder on myself, just a lot more unrealistic expectations, very like perfectionistic. And so I was trying to make sure that I didn't waste any time at all. Like have fun when I needed to, but if it was like time to be productive, I had to be productive.
But it's hard to figure out when something stops working for you. Yeah. Of like, am I not putting enough effort in? Or is it actually not going to work?
Yeah, exactly.
And something too, like as far as advice goes, like it's so specific. Like we're just two gorgeous and stunning women here. What we're gonna say isn't necessarily gonna work for you. That's like so cool. You could think about it and try it if you want to, but for the love of God, never take advice like that from somebody, especially when it comes to something like organizing your life. Be critical about what you hear because so many people, especially in the online space, they want your money in one way or another.
Some way, shape, or form. I don't want your money.
Yeah, we just want your attention.
Yeah, and organization.
I think we might have it. Yeah, we just gotta sit here.
We just gotta sit and look pretty.
Yeah.
Well, I do wonder like what, because we met in university. So organizing is very, very different in university versus when you have very little structure as an adult post-grad, you know?
I feel like the organization worked into the teaching profession is something that we definitely have a lot of experience in.
I do like feeling organized. And I do enjoy working towards getting organized. When I have issues is when I don't have the same kind of motivation to do it or energy, right? So it's like kind of pushing through in those times. Especially because there are no deadlines that people are making for me. There's no test due on Monday, essay due on Wednesday, you know, report due Friday. It's when do I want to get this done? Is this a priority? Do I need to get this done? Can I have some help? You know?
Yeah.
I think that's where it's like fun to be this free and also kind of scary.
Because if nobody's coming to check up on you, it's like nice and not at the same time.
So how have your teaching skills allowed you to either be better organized in your personal life or maybe not so better off?
I would say probably about the same. For me, while I was a teacher, I was very organized, but I would say mentally organized. And like physically organized as well, but I just remember feeling like everybody else had things so much. Filing cabinets of things and stuff. And I just had my laptop.
A nice little life lesson is that no matter how organized you can be, life doesn't go according to plan.
No, and being rigid to that organizational plan too can really mess you up there too. So because it's the beginning of the year, you know, it's January 1st. If you're listening to this live right now, it is January 1st. Do you participate in any resolutions? Have you had resolutions before?
Because of the expectation that it's like, okay, you're going to do this throughout the whole year, whatever. And so I've leaned away from like January setting like whatever it is. And then just anytime I'm in my like little mini rebirth, I guess, which happens like multiple times a year, apparently. I become a new woman every year.
Oh, I love that.
Right? Yeah, I'm like, you know what? Okay, resolution time now. Resolution time now. And I've been really trying to like focus on what it is that I believe in or what I value and how I'm like, this is going to help me not just now, but in the long run. So I do have a little bucket list moment that I want to complete before the end of the year. So I guess I have a deadline of sorts, but I started it in April. So it wasn't necessarily January that I'm like, I'm going to get all of this shit done. Although I bet you in January, I probably had a little resolution list. I don't know where it is now.
Like it's January 1st. Yeah, it's the beginning of the new year, but it's also just another day.
Just another one.
It doesn't need to be that serious.
It's not.
And if you hold on to those resolutions of like, it's going to be life-changing and everything's going to be different this year. I'm going to drink green tea before I go to bed, which I guess has caffeine in it. That doesn't really make
you don't give a fuck.
A little sleepy time tea, you know, that might do.
Sleepy time tea before bed every
a little
night.
tension tamer, that might be fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can start that on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Literally do that anytime. Yeah. That's the thing about organization is that sometimes, I've fallen into this trap so much. Sometimes I organize things just to organize things.
It's like busy work.
But for myself.
Yeah, it's called housework.
Because it's like, I'm gonna throw shapes. Yeah. No, but doing it just so I look organized, like for other people looking in, it's like, oh, David's so organized, which I am, but sometimes I overdo it. You know, like we don't need to do that much detail.
I can relate so hard.
Because not only do we look so similar, we have quite similar personalities as well too. That's something interesting too, because not everybody is afforded the time, money, and resources to actually be organized.
Yeah. Like I don't have any kids, but I can imagine having kids and organizing yourself is difficult. As a teacher, I can understand. So
your standards of organization will change throughout your life, depending on what else is going on.
What else is happening. Yeah. And maybe what you prioritize. Yeah. So
I don't feel like it has to look the same forever. Be willing to change it and shake it up, you know?
Yeah, shake shit up.
Shake it up.
That's so true. What's a 2025 organization strategy you want to bring into next year?
I do. I have a planner. That I'm going to write things down.
Okay.
I do love writing with a pencil.
Okay,
I love writing with a pencil, not with a pen.
Just a pencil?
I'm not a pen kind of girl.
You are a pencil.
I feel like because I work on a screen seemingly 24/7, I want to get off the screen a little bit more. In general, that's something that I want to do, is spend less time on screens.
That's so fair.
Well, if I'm anxious, it soothes me to organize. Yeah.
Oh, it's that feeling of control. Oh yeah, love some of that.
I want that control. Yeah, and so if you don't recognize it, you just keep going and going and going, and then it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, why am I underneath the washing machine organizing all the little like different kinds of cleaners like stacking on top of each other in the corner, and then one falls, and then
which could be important.
It could be.
Maybe just not at 3 a.m.
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
Exactly. No. If I showed you my to-do list, I do a lot of organization in the notes app. That's where it happens for me. Lots of lists.
You a notes girly.
I gotta take it out of my head and put it onto paper.
Yeah, put it on something. And so notes is your number one thing.
It is.
Okay. I find like anywhere where there's a surface. So I actually have this.
A surface.
Check it out, y'all. What started off as a bullet journal has since morphed into apparently a little bit of a study list. Check out my French and Spanish. And I love I think a catch-all notebook where I can do whatever it is that I want on it. So apparently I watched a budgeting video April 15th, 2024, and I took notes. That's right.
Oh, I love that.
Organizing. Have I read the notes? No. But you know what? It's there if I want it. And then a little list of things that I want to do and cross them off. I know in 2017, so when we were still in university, I did have this, which was my old organizing whatever, now turned into like a songwriting, lyric writing notebook. But it straight up was scheduled to the minute. It was like 10:40 a.m. Leave for appointment. 11 a.m. appointment. 11:30 a.m. Mom Cairo. You know, so what? Apparently I had lunch with my grandparents and got gas November 10th at 12:30 p.m. because I crossed it off. But you can very much see how over organizing when you feel like you're out of control and not achieving fuels the cycle for anxiety. Kind of fucks you up a little bit.
Even if we think of the example today now of like we have just over an hour left to record this podcast, you're going to be taking off this makeup in the front seat of my car on the way to dinner because we're going to be rushed for time.
So wild. So I feel like that's like my journey of organization and resolution, and just be a little more gentle with myself. And I get some shit done.
I can identify with the doing it in like 15-minute blocks. That's so too real.
That's too,
It's ridiculous.
Take this makeup off in 15 minutes.
Everything should be at least 30. Minimum amount of time, 30 minutes.
Yeah, double it.
Yeah.
If you don't know, double it. Just that's what I've learned.
Oh, and sometimes even that's not enough. I like the catch-all notebook.
Yeah, I used to have so many different notebooks for other things. Like one for just agenda, one for my journal, one for note taking and stuff, and like I think it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if maybe I've just given up, but the catch-all is fine. My meal prep is for the 12th of June apparently. Peanut butter and jelly. This is what I'm gonna have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because to not have to think about it, right, to have it somewhere, it makes me feel a lot less anxiety. And it's a cool little memoir, a little keepsake of like, wow, this is what I might have done.
I love going back and looking at it. Get a book and write things down, or even if it's just a note in the notes app, like just start the structure of it. That's what it is for me, because when you have that little first bit, I guess that's even backed up by science with like the theory of motivation.
See what's in this workout.
Stop. Now this one is a gym notebook.
A workout log. That's why it says workout.
So I've had my workouts like this. Writing this down made such a difference for me to be motivated to not only get to the gym, but actually do all of these different things. And I did this. This was in the beginning when I started weightlifting. Each page was one workout. I think this was the second book that I made. But yeah, I did this for a year and a half. Like, look at the names of these. BB squat.
That's so good.
Sissy squat.
Yeah, sissy that walk.
Sissy that squat.
Yeah, nice.
A rear delt flyer.
Yeah. And you found this helped you out.
Absolutely. It kept me together. And I think because the reflection part is a big piece of that for me as well, because then I was able to go back and like see where I came from. That's the big thing too.
That's cool. It's that progress.
Yeah, because if you don't write things down, you like forget how you were organized.
True.
So then if you look back in a year and you were like, this is how I was doing this, then you can like assess maybe where you need to go.
Yeah.
But if your organization is all in your head, then it's harder to keep track of. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder to keep track of.
Yes. So I live with my mom again.
Yeah.
And I forgot just how organized she is. Daily planner out. And I think there's 2 daily planners. One's like for work or something, but then others like appointments and all that good jazz. And different colored pens. I know, she's not even a teacher. So I was like, maybe it's not a teacher thing.
Okay.
sticky notes if she needs to. Yeah, grocery list, you know, pen next to the list. There's so many things. And so it's like really cool to be kind of seeing how some strategies that I use when I lived by myself, like I forgot, I'm like, maybe I did pick this up from my mom, you know, or maybe I picked it up somewhere else and she picked it up somewhere else, and we just, it works for both of us, you know, like more than like daughter.
Daughter.
Yeah, daughter.
Daughter. Yeah. Where's my daughter?
Right here. Pretty cool to see some similarities between my mother and I.
Yeah. And like just always paying attention to be able to notice that too. Because I feel like a lot of folks wouldn't even clock it. I'm just like, this is how people around me have done it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's interesting to see how other people get their lives organized, and what works in the moment and what doesn't.
Yeah.
I am very much interested in that.
Yeah, asking people how. And sometimes you can really tell if a strategy is not working for another person or not. Yeah, there's so many different categories of organization, right? Because you can be organized for your job. That was something with teaching too. As a teacher, I was very organized at work, but then my personal life would struggle because I had organizational fatigue. I didn't want to do it for myself because I spend all day doing it for these kids.
Yeah,
right?
24 of them.
I like putting in a lot of extra work organizing something before it happens, in order to have like the ease of the experience. Is it that organization becomes easier because you become better at it and you do it over time, and it just becomes like your second nature and the way that you do something, you know?
Though exactly, like a habit ingrained. I think, you learn what works for you and what doesn't, or maybe you just never do. I do find like myself also trying to make the experience of when I'm going to go through something easier. But it doesn't always work, you know, like I think it really ties back into that motivation aspect. Like there have been times where I did not pack my lunch the night before and I'm like, oh, I'll have time in the morning.
You're not going to have time in the morning.
I never have time in the morning.
Do it right now.
Do it right now.
Yeah.
Right now as you're watching this.
Yeah, you can get up. Just turn up the volume and get yourself ready for tomorrow. Yeah.
You know what? I find when I have to do things that I don't particularly find joy in or interest in on that day, having my little laptop with me, you know, watching a video or something. It's like that to bring the motivation to get myself organized or just get my life together. Yeah. I'm like, this is my reward. Do a little episode here and there, you know?
Yeah.
So it's nice. It passes the time. And then once I start, I keep going. You know, it's like the momentum's there. So. Yeah,
because what is it? You don't need motivation in order to get started. You need to get started in order to have more motivation.
Oh, another true fact. Another one. When the advice is true. Yeah, I do like that. It's so true. Easier said than done. For sure.
Absolutely.
Easier said than done.
And it'll work in one moment and in the next it will not.
Yeah, so
and maybe never will again.
Sometimes things work.
Sometimes they don't. I can't stop thinking about the fact that you said that we're doing an episode on organization, but we haven't organized ourselves.
Look at us.
But sometimes you got to get organized in the moment because you don't always have the time to get yourself together in order to do things too.
That's not how life works.
But maybe organization in terms of like setting yourself up in such a way to approach the world that no matter what it throws at you, you can manage it. And it's almost like improvisation. It's almost like the same thing, right? It's building your toolbox of things that you can do in order to be organized when you see the cues for a different situation.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's not like you can plan for that beyond a certain point.
No, you can't. But I think, you're right. Like just building whatever it is in your toolbox, you can just whip out those organization strategies because that's how your mind works. Like it organizes it into things. And so maybe you are dealing with a difficult situation at work. Your brain has filed away something somewhere, somehow, something that you've done in the past. Did it work? Let's try it again. Did it not work? Ooh, what's a new strategy that we could try? Yeah. So you're already doing it subconsciously. Might as well do it consciously.
One of my neuroprofs would say the best way to remember something is to remember it. And it sounds so stupid, but here's what that means. You're trying to remember a number and you're like, oh, I can't remember it. Instead of saying that, just sit and try and remember it. And it sounds so stupid and infantile, but like 8 times out of 10, if you just sit and think about it, it'll come to you. Because you just have to give your brain time to like just get through everything that's in there.
Just process.
It's crazy. It works so well. I know that sounds dumb, but you need to try it.
Just sit and remember.
It'll work.
Just remember.
Yeah. Have you tried remembering?
Yeah, have you? God, we sound like parents right now. Have you tried remembering?
There's been a few times, where I'm like, we kind of sound like assholes here. So organizing your life in like work, we've talked about exercising, and what you're doing, like the activities, the time schedule. We've talked about that too. I really like that one. Doing that one, I think that's when I put a lot of time in to organizing, is like from 1 to 9 I'll be doing this, breaking the day up into chunks in order to stay organized well.
You're chunking things up.
Oh, you got a chunk.
You got a chunk.
ABC, always be chunking.
It's time block.
It changes and it's different for everybody, but there are like, I guess, ways that you can organize yourself from a neuroscientific perspective that are more effective. Some of the things are the ones that we know of, like chunking things into smaller pieces, and it's returning to things. So if you have a structure that you want to start using in your life, like if there is something, you got to walk away from it and come back to it, and then leave it and then come back to it, and you'll be so much more likely to remember things too. Because that's where it all happens.
Is when you take those breaks.
You got to
take a break.
You know what, that might be a perfect time for us to take a break, so we will be right back. Okay, Michelle, can you think of a time where your organization has failed you?
Has failed me? You know what? Look no further than probably the last time I got organized. I think trying to do too many things at once. In one time. I really am so ambitious. I have the day off, let's pretend. And I'm like, time to catch up on all the things that I want to catch up on. And like get ahead, so that way I can feel at ease for the upcoming week, So not just getting organized for work, but also for my creative hobbies, like the ambition of trying to, cross off what's on my bucket list. And then my personal goals, maybe related to like hygiene, or how often I want my room to be clean. All of that good stuff. And so I do find a lot of me writing things that I want to do, and sometimes I don't get it all done. Oh, look, I just turned to 1. And do you see this? I don't know, can you see this right now? Do you see how many I did not cross off? On that one day, I really thought I was going to be able to get all of this done in one day. Maybe someone else can. I cannot. I know myself better. I love to dilly and I love to dally.
God, don't even get me started on a nice little dilly dally.
I know, we love me a little dilly dally. Should be the dilly dally baby lady.
Me when I'm a dilly dally lady.
That's a new tongue twister.
I lost it.
Dilly dally baby lady.
Dilly dally baby lady.
Dilly dally Billy Bally.
Do you mind if I dilly dally on your baby lady?
Okay, silly Sally.
That is so rotted. No. Okay, but I do that too. I write down so many things that I'm going to do in a day because I'm over organized, and it makes me feel not more capable than I really am. Because like I have the capability, but I don't have the capacity to actually do all of that at once. You got to let us know. Is that just us? Are we just neurotic in that fashion in a unique way? Or is that
unique?
Yeah. Or is that you too?
Is that you too?
Do you think everybody writes down things that they can't do, but just because it feels good to look like you're organized?
Let's make it look good.
Because sometimes organization is a sham. Sometimes you spend so much time on getting organized, you don't actually do the task at hand.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But then it goes on the opposite side too, because if everything is out of place, at least for me, I don't really have the space to be creative if things are like cluttered. It might just be the OCD though that makes everything out of place harder to do. But I think, if there's a huge amount of clutter around, it is going to make it harder for you to actually initiate a task and complete it. So it is that delicate balance between not having any idea what's going on and not getting bogged down in the organization of it too.
That's so true.
Because I do that when I get up in the morning, is I over-plan my day.
That is exactly it. I love me my pretty little list.
Exactly. Get the stationery out, because what if we color-coded things? Wouldn't that be cute?
What if we like made it really fancy? Like, ooh, look at that November in that little sheet.
It's cute.
I spent more time writing out like a savings budgeting expenses page than I did actually expending and budgeting.
And I feel like people are one extreme to the other. It's really hard to actually have that nice right balance.
Yes.
Do you have that nice right balance right now in this moment?
Not really.
No, me neither.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not that balanced?
No. I think that's part of it, though, is being comfortable in that unrest and ambiguity, too. Of being able to do what you can and leave the rest. Like, do no harm, but also move on.
I do love to make time for dilly-dallying. I do.
Organizing your disorganization.
Yeah, You're
We
not-
are so type A, it hurts.
I know, it's kind of wild. Sometimes I'm like, am I a type B? I think
No.
mentally I'm a type A.
When are you a type
But in
B?
practice,
Yeah.
I'm a type B.
But maybe like, because you try to organize, but it doesn't always work out.
It don't.
Yeah.
It don't
But
work out.
I mean that too. But you keep trying. That's all that matters. Okay, maybe here's a little tip that I do regularly. I have a personal rule that everything that I own needs to be gone through at least once a year. Nothing in my space can sit for more than one calendar year without being looked at, gone through, assessed. Like,
To see if you want to keep it.
yeah, donate some stuff, even just to like update my mental map.
That is so good.
Because then you go through 2 bins and you're like, wait a minute, these are basically the same bins. I can just conglomerate this and this one that's been overflowing for 8 months and that's been driving me crazy. I can now move into this one, so it makes more sense.
Yeah, no, that's so cool.
We talked about earlier how you feel bad about taking time off and not feeling like you're productive, right? There needs to be something, for me at least, there needs to be something going on at all times so that I can feel a sense of productivity. Like, I don't know why I feel so comforted from the fact when the Roomba, the dishwasher, the washing machine, and the dryer are all running at the same time.
Yeah. That feels so good.
What is that?
I don't know.
I love that you feel that too.
Okay, yeah.
It's like that all the things are going,
Yeah.
but I don't have anything to do with that right now. It's just like the automation. Okay, so that might be part of your organization.
That's my dopamine rush. I turn something on, I'm like, I don't gotta think about it for 2 hours.
Exactly.
Next one, click. Oh yes, I don't gotta think about this either.
Another barrel of mildewy laundry won't hurt me.
Oh yes. You know what? I find no matter what I do in a day, if I fold and put away my laundry in the same day, I just feel on top of the world.
Yeah.
I feel like that fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I put my laundry away.
Where does it end up? If you don't fold it, where does it live until you do?
It stays in the pile.
Oh.
It stays in the pile. Yeah,
Where's
I got
the
my
pile?
When I bring my basket up, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna put this away later. And that's my mistake, is saying later, because it doesn't leave the basket.
No, mine
does
is
not.
I like organize myself in such a way to make it even more unsightly to not fold my laundry, but yet I never do. I just put it on my bed.
And you're like,
But then it's 2 a.m. and it's time to go to bed. So I just sweep all of that laundry onto the floor and then go to bed. And then when I wake up, I'll make my bed and put that laundry back on my
on the
bed,
bed,
because
yeah.
I'm going to fold it today. Currently, right now, there's about 4 loads of clean laundry on the floor of my bedroom.
oh my God, I love that.
It's just everywhere.
And it's clean.
It is clean.
It's organized chaos.
It's not organized. It's not
It's just
organized.
chaos.
Yeah, if you're consistently avoiding organization, it can lead you to burnout too. Just always trying to catch up.
Yeah.
But you can burn out the other way too.
I think it's hard, like right now with how many things there are to do in your life, and then also all of the distractions.
Yeah.
You know, all of the different kinds of demands pulling at you. Like we're so well connected, but it's just like, oh, like a text message here and notification there. And like, yeah, it can get really overwhelming, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that's the word.
Like taking care of your health and things like that. Like all of those things that are quote unquote necessary. But then all those extras that you want to do, staying organized with those things can sometimes become impossible.
It can be so hard.
And the distractions too, like you talked about. Like TikTok and Instagram trying to keep you on the platform as long as possible so they can make the most amount of money possible because of the ads.
They get it.
And the algorithm's doing you dirty, girl.
Yeah, so dirty.
It's wild. It's wild. It's almost like our world is built in such a way to keep people as disorganized as possible. Because if you're organized and together, you can actually pay attention to what's going on. And then you're like, oh, this is late stage capitalism, honey. It always comes back to capitalism, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's my least favorite letter. C. For capitalism.
Really, it's my favorite, but for a different way.
Maybe it's my favorite for other reasons.
God. Yeah. So what's important here is the mindset shift. Like we said, it doesn't have to be done any single way. It's gonna change over time. Maybe it's like, are you doing it for yourself? Because if you're making it pretty and spending too much time on the organization, to be honest, and I don't know about you, I love spending time getting things organized. Like I really enjoy that process. Even if it's not completed, it's still started. And if you enjoy it, you're probably more likely to return to it. So maybe even that was us being like judgmental of ourselves, of writing down all of these lists.
I think it could be good and bad. Like I think it could be a both situation of that is a lot of time wasting if you are getting bogged down in the details of how to get organized. You got to spend more time doing, because time is very much a luxury. So if you're wasting it on things that I guess might at times be trivial.
And it's helpful to start in one area, to pick something small that you can begin to focus your maybe extra organizational focus and power onto.
Ooh.
That might be something. Yeah.
What is do you have an example of that in your life?
The content in my phone, so like photos and videos, that's a process that I do at the end of every year that takes me about probably like a week to do.
Okay.
Of just watching every video in my phone for the year.
Yeah, you set time.
Looking at every picture that I've taken throughout this entire year, categorizing the pictures and videos into about 20 some different categories, throwing them in those albums just to keep things together and organized. Because I make it for the reflection, because I want to be able to go back and type in like drag in 2024 and I want to be able to see all of my content and pictures and silly videos that I make for myself and to publish online.
This is something that has been near and dear to my heart lately, is getting organized to maintain the connection in my life.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of long distance friendships, and definitely seeking connection is something that I have been trying to be more intentional about. Yeah, just wanting to prioritize what I want to organize, so that way it stays a priority. Writing down who to respond back to. I'm so
really?
fucking real. There are times where I like forget. I'm working on it. Yeah, so I think it's like forever getting organized, like not just for my life, or not just for me personally, but like to maintain that connection with others. Yeah.
And maybe it's communicating or like having reasonable expectations for your organization with the people that you care about that are around you. Because it doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as everybody has the understanding of like, this is how it goes for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that is a very important conversation to have with your loved ones of what does maintaining this connection look like to you?
Yeah.
Like, is it a 1 week or once a month, like FaceTime call or whatever, if that, you know? I think that's important.
Because I feel that with you, and I have that expectation too of like, sometimes you send a text and it just goes into the abyss, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna read it, but who knows if she's gonna respond.
I will read it.
And don't even, because I'm the same way too. It's hard.
It's so hard. So many things demanding your attention. Like, it is so fair. So.
Like this podcast right now. Here you are.
So that's why I write shit down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We didn't talk about favorite pens. If we're gonna talk about organizing, I'm a lefty. In many ways than one, more ways than one, but writing is one of them. And so I find with pens and specific pencils, it just doesn't flow right.
Do you get the smearing?
Yeah, of course.
As you write?
Yeah, you get the line right here, the mark right here. I'm like, oh, I don't love that. For me, it's important enough for me to get that little oomph of motivation or inspiration by having pens that I do enjoy using in a pretty little notebook. Very simple, right? Because it was meant to be a bullet journal, but you know, aesthetically, I'm like, yeah, let me open that shit up, you know. Maybe it is the teacher in me. But yeah, the pens really matter, because if it smudges or if it doesn't glide right, I get upsetty spaghetti. I said it. Upsetty as baguette.
It's just like when my pants are too tight.
Yeah.
Shoelaces are too tight.
Yeah, sad. So sad.
Now I'm mad.
So yeah, my favorite pens are erasable.
Oh.
Yeah, they're erasable jelly ones. I love when I make mistakes. Sometimes I just cross it out, keep going. But I'm like, if I want to be aesthetically pleasing, I'll spend the time erasing. And the different colors too, because it just makes me really happy. My tried, tested, true black pen. But then I have like 4 other colors. So yeah, do you have a favorite pen?
No.
Do you just write with what? Oh, you like pencil.
I do pencils.
Yeah, you're a pencil girly.
I do when I go traveling and there's like a shopping experience or a gift shop or something like that. That's what I get is the pencil from everywhere.
Okay.
So I have like a little tin of pencils from all around the world, and that's what I write with.
Is that what that is? That tin right there?
Yeah.
Oh, your pencil tin.
My pencil tin. That was my nickname in high school.
Pencil tin, yeah.
Pencil tin.
My nickname now.
It wasn't. Yeah. Nothing about me was like a pencil. Oh, a 10-minute daily tidy.
Oh, I love those small little hacks.
Oh.
Yeah, just 10 minutes. I'm like, do whatever. Just start on whatever, because then it eliminates the thought process.
Yeah.
And you're getting something done. And you're gaining the motivation to keep going. It's my favorite thing. I'm like, 10 fucking minutes. Oh, speaking of apps, check this out. Okay, my big ass calendar. Where it's like different colors for work versus like just personal lives and appointments. And then my forest app, start planting today. So for those of you who haven't heard this, do you remember these?
I remember you planting a tree constantly. And the amount of times that I would like find you somewhere in the university and you hadn't responded to my text and you were like, sorry, I planted a tree.
Yeah, so that still checks out. So
I gotta plant a tree.
I gotta plant a tree, yeah. Anywhere from 10 to 2 hours, and you get to choose a different tree. And if you earn enough coins from planting trees, you get to unlock more trees. Wow. And again, color coded, study, volunteer, life, fitness. So yes, I get distracted so easily, sometimes to a fault where I'm distracted by, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but something that I don't want to put my focus and attention on.
Yeah.
Like I get in the bog of responding to texts, and then it becomes, oh shit, I'm actually supposed to be writing this email. Or I'm writing the email and I check a text, but I forget to respond to it because I opened it. So I'm like, avoiding that temptation, and then intentionally setting aside time to be like, okay, I'm going to, for 10 minutes, just like check through my phone and see who I haven't responded to, so that they at least get a response by the end of the day.
It sounds so elementary too, of like a 10-minute cleanup. But while I'm waiting for things, I'll do that. So like in the morning when I wake up and I'm waiting for my coffee, I'll just in the kitchen do whatever's going on. And a lot of the people in my life who have that successful organization of everything, that's when I see it happen for them, is that it's just whenever you're there and available.
Again, time privilege, I think, is like a big thing with getting organized and being your best version of yourself. If I am not able to make my own meals, or maybe don't have enough money to get all of the expensive items for what you should be doing, should or should not be doing, then it's like, oh, like how else can you sneak in little elements of health here and there? Okay. But that being the privilege of just having enough time to be organized, stay organized, and like in all aspects of your life. Maybe
even just like that little bit of gratitude too, of like being able to organize.
Yeah,
too, 100%. And like something that can be enjoyable, because it does help and make things better for you,
for your life. 100%.
Be figuring out how you can do it in such a way that you enjoy it more, because it is something that's really valuable. And I don't know if everybody values it in terms of like actually doing it, like making it nice and look like this. That might be the type A and B, because I love that too. I spend my whole day organizing.
I do love to organize personally. I think it could be a little bit of everything, like it depends on what that looks like for you. Like on TikTok, I have not seen any shortage of videos of like the hustle culture, the grind, like, and how wonderfully organized everything is. And it is so aesthetically pleasing. And I love that. But I feel like it'd be really unrealistic for me personally to ever expect myself to be at that level. Yeah. Because it does take time. It takes effort. It does matter for some, but I'm like, what is important to me right now? Like, does everything need to be like taken out of its original packaging and then put into new packaging?
Because that's so wasteful too.
It can be very wasteful, because obviously your organization strategies might change as well. And so I'm like, oh shit, now I spent all this money
on all these mason jars and now I want something different.
I don't want mason jars.
Well, there is no shortage of all of that, all of those TikToks of all of the containers. Yeah. And you walk in and everything is labeled the same and like that. And it looks great. But even just from a resource level, not everybody can make it look like that. Yeah. Like that much plastic is that? Yeah. Organization? But that's because then you spend more time on TikTok by watching somebody else's organization, comparing it to your own, feeling shame about it, and you keep scrolling for that dopamine hit. And then maybe that dopamine hit you're going to get is from the Amazon purchase of all of those containers to put your little laundry beads in there.
Your laundry beads.
And nobody needs laundry beads, okay?
Yeah, you don't need
You just get a little fabric softener, a little bit of a scent.
Oh, a little bit of that smell.
You don't need all that other stuff. Maybe that's something too. You don't need all this other stuff too. So figure out things that you actually enjoy about the act of and engaging in organization, but get rid of that fluff.
Yeah, excess.
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Basics in. Do what makes you love life. Yeah, I think so.
These are just all like platitudes now at this point. It's good. Yeah.
These are the 10 commandments of organization.
Oh yeah, I found these gold plates, but nobody can see them. No, but that's absolutely, you'll find more joy out of the things that you want to do intrinsically versus the things you feel forced to do from outside forces.
Yeah, forced. Yeah. I think you touched briefly on like, who am I staying clean or organized for? Like, what's your intention?
Is it for a show or is it for you?
Yeah.
Do you actually like it? Does it need to be that clean? I think I'm talking to myself.
No one's going to care if my bed isn't made.
No.
Except for my mom. Mom, if you're watching this, and no one else cares.
Being organized, especially when you're in a spot where you're on your own and nobody's forcing you to be organized, it is self-regulated. And that's the biggest challenge, is because nobody's coming to help you and nobody's coming to hurt you. So you have to be able to balance it and do it yourself. And it all has to come from the inside too. But it takes so much time in order to slowly unlearn all of the shame that has been projected onto you by the organizational habits from influential people around you too, right? Because you grow up with parents and you want to organize like them. And maybe you do. And maybe you do that until you're 25, until you realize that this is not the way for me. That's great if it worked for them. It might have worked for them. Probably not. But if it did, and if it doesn't work for you, you can change it. But sometimes it takes so long to be able to like actually see your own habits. That's the thing.
To notice. Right? Yeah, to be like, oh, this is how I do things. Yeah. And not just, I'm doing this because this is what I was taught. Yeah.
So like create proof of what you're doing.
Yeah, prove it.
In a book, on your phone, taking pictures, vlogging. I love vlogging for myself.
Know that I feel like what you do when you remember a memory and you kind of categorize it, I'm like, oh, that's so like a good idea. I find I journal, as you know, but my thoughts are everywhere. And so it does take time to like, if I'm going to grab a sticky note, to color code it and then be like, oh yeah, this is like my New Year's resolutions, or this is how I've been feeling over the last few days, or consistently every Monday if I'm journaling, like this is how my expenses, you know what I mean? So to set a system up so that way you're not constantly trying to organize, it's the system that is already there that works for you, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe the Notes app is the move.
Here's something really random that I do that's super organized, and I don't know how it's happened, but now this has been, so every year on October 24th, I do a vlog check-in with myself, and it's a video that I sit down and just like explain my life to my past and future self of like, here's what's going on, here's all the circumstances. But now it's become a whole day thing, because before I record the one on the 27th, I watch my October 27th vlogs from all the years past. So there's like 5 hours of video that I need to sit through first, listening to myself. And it's so cool because I'm like walking myself through my entire life throughout the years.
That's so sick.
And I never thought I would remember it. I had the idea when I just did it randomly in like 2014, and then it just keeps going.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah. It's so silly, but it works for me, and that's kind of all that matters. If I told anybody else to do that, it wouldn't work, probably for a variety of reasons. So just being able to have the discernment, like being able to pay attention to yourself. Metacognition, girl, you got to be thinking about thinking.
Wow, look at us.
You need to be thinking about thinking. You remember Albert Bandura?
I do. Why does that name seem so familiar?
The Bobo doll experiment.
Yeah, the Bobo doll experiment.
Do you know he was born in Alberta? Mundare, where the big sausage is.
Okay.
That's where he was born.
Bandura, I see you.
Yeah.
Province represent.
Yeah.
Bobo and...
I guess...
We just two Bobos.
You know what's interesting, what I could mention here? So there's this document that I've been through many times. It is by the Oxford University Press that talks about motivation. So if it is something that anybody would be interested in looking at. That's a really cool one. I can put the link in the description for that. It's really interesting.
Check out the link down below.
Because the ability to regulate one's learning can have a highly significant impact on lifelong success.
That's true. Set those systems up while you're young.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Soon the lake is going to freeze over. You got to get as much litter out of it as you can
look at you.
Before it all.
That's an analogy if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
I think that's like one of my favorite roles of being a teacher is like learning what works and what doesn't work for me and kind of like trying to plant that seed into like the class and stuff of like, obviously I teach you one way, you might not learn that way, and that's okay, right? We love to explore ways that work for us. And so I know like kids are always like, oh, Miss Caston, if I did something differently, is that okay? I'm like, well, did you get the right answer? Yeah. Okay. Did you understand the process of what you were doing? Mm-hmm. The basic steps, the basic moves, whatever. And if they do, then hell yeah, keep that shit up.
Yeah. And that's good too for like goal setting. You have to make sure you figure out where you kind of want to go, because then you can hold that up to your strategy. And if your strategy was enjoyable and it got you there and it's weird, that's fine.
Even better.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little fun in your life.
Yeah. I think that's it, bestie.
Yeah.
So really, all in all, organization is important. But it's not everything. Mm-mm. It's not everything. Don't spend way too much time organizing.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
It's a balance. And the only way that you're going to figure out how you want to do it is by doing it all the ways that you don't want to do it. So get out there and make some organizational mistakes, honey. That's always important.
Mistake it up.
You gotta fuck it up and make a mess.
You gotta learn.
Oh God.
We sound like teachers.
Yeah.
We sound like teachers.
I guess we are. When we first met. Anyway.
Call us Miss Baby Lady.
Okay, MBL. Michelle, what's your final message for our 5 viewers watching our episode here on motivation?
Motivation.
On
organization.
Organization, yeah.
Before you record a podcast.
No, that's not. I love it. We're the biggest hypocrites, but you know what? We look so good. I'm sorry, we spent our time painting our faces instead of actually researching the topic.
Make sure to find time to enjoy your life while you get organized.
Oh, that is.
There it is. There it is.
Good. That's good.
Head switch.
Yeah, I love that.
What's yours? What's your little take-home message?
I think is people don't do better when they feel worse. So if you want to change your behavior, you got to take that shame out of there. You got to try different things and be okay with wasting time before you land on what you want to do. So get that shame out of here. Yeah, go try something.
We love self-compassion.
Go mess around.
Fuck it up.
Yeah. Find out. All right. Well, thanks for joining us here. Episode 1, Season 3, here on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify. Okay, is there anywhere the children can find you, Michelle?
Oh, I understand. Oh, if you love dogs, guess what? So do I. On the topic of organization, I love organizing all the pictures I have with me and dogs that I meet in real life and posting them on Instagram because I love to spread that joy of meeting a dog for the first time and then just having a little fun. You know what I mean? So cute, so cute. So at Michelle with Dogs, MICHELLEWITHDOGS. Come give me a follow.
That was so well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love dogs.
Oh,
that might be the reason why.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for getting to the end of this video. Let us know what you think in the comments. Tell us anything, you know. Do you love these stunning women on the go?
Ooh. We are stunning.
We really are. Yeah, I know. It's so good.
I want to keep it on forever. Yeah.
Until next month. Good luck with your resolutions, girl. Don't make them too hard. Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna let it all hang out. Wow. Ta-da-da-da-da. Okay. So we need a topic. We need a theme for this one word at a time. Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Oh, hello there. Hello, what's your name?
Hello out there. We're on the air.
We're Jack and Jill going up the hill.
Getting some water.
Oh, for our daughter.
I don't know.